Welcome to Kickin It Old Skool, and one hell of a show we're going to have tonight. Boom! Look at this. We even changed the screen and everything. It took me like 3 minutes to make this. Look at this. We have, first of all, everyone in the chat, thank you for all coming. I know today's been kind of a roller coaster of a day. We have Michael here from iiRcade, and we have Renzo and Chris from Heavy Metal Titans, which was released yesterday. And I'm happy to say that no one has defeated me yet. So, haha, on all of you people out there playing the game. But in the chat, Steve, if you want to go through the chat, just welcome some people we have here in the chat.
All right, we got Adam, Dan Z, Nerd Dungeon Master 84, Rich Waldo, Sir Sega, Brad Underwood, Stephen M, Hobby Hands, Paul Behrens, Andy's Game Room, Mikey D, Mike Caputo, Pliskin's Run. Who's this guy's Glenn's Retro Show? I don't know who that is.
he's a jerk.
So, let's see, who else we got? Made in Canada, Matt Astor Gaming, Jeff D. I don't think I mentioned him. I don't want to repeat too many people. Hollywood Polo, Zero Redux, Kevin Colson, and the rest looks pretty repetitive. Except for a few people there. It's going quick. Welcome, TGIF. TGIF, especially this week.
Absolutely.
You said you had a rough week, right, Glenn?
Yeah, it was a rough week, but it was also, I think, a rough end of the week, today with the news.
More gray hairs?
Well, at least I got some that could still be gray. So I guess that's okay. But, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, let's just not beat around the bush. Today
you got the most clickbaity title, by the way, too.
Well, I do.
You stooped to that level, Glenn. I never thought.
I did. But it's iiRcade is one of the most respected manufacturers out there. Great hardware, great customer service, a great environment, and unfortunately, due to just the way things sometimes the dice roll, we had COVID. We have, all of eggs costing like $10 for like 12. Everything gets more expensive. and unfortunately, iiRcade is having to exit the market. You can still purchase games though, right, Michael? What you
Yep.
explain a little bit about? They can still purchase games and still use their systems.
Sure, yeah. Until Wednesday, you can purchase games until Wednesday, and then after that, the servers will still remain on, but you can't purchase games at that point. However, you still have access to your account up until at least the end of next week. After that, it's kind of up in the air. We don't really know ourselves. So if you have an iiRcade, for sure, download all of your games to your system as soon as you can. So, but yeah, up until next week, you can still access your account fully, download those games to the system, and then once they're on your system, they're still there for life. So they're not going to go anywhere after that, right? So they're installed locally. They're there. So you can play them anytime you want. Play your Burger Times, your Dragon Slayer, your Space Ace, Space Invaders, whatever you want to play, right? So
Space Invaders is a good one too. But
So
Thank you.
we're going to have a
Maybe.
moment of silence here, probably, right? Like I think it's adequate. It's a sad death.
Well,
I
for
mean,
me, if I can jump in here, so I don't
yeah,
know
of
if it's
course,
my
Chris.
turn.
Jump in.
It was an emotional day. It's been a roller coaster. Lots of good things happening. It was tough to see John and Michael and Colin and Glenn sign off, for that last time. There's so many awesome memories. It was John's voice every Tuesday and Friday that pulled us through 2020. That got us through COVID, and just so many memories made. And really, John did exactly what he set out to do. He brought people together, and that was his catchphrase from the beginning. He wants to bring people together. And I tell you, I have more friends now that are iiRcade from the iiRcade community than not. I met so many awesome people, and so many amazing things are happening now because of that. So he did exactly what he set out to do. He brought people together. So we appreciate him, appreciate Michael, and all that they did, and for sure the spirit of iiRcade will live on forever, just in these relationships.
Yeah, that's the retro gaming community in general, though, too, right? That's not just us; that's all you guys too. So, yeah, it's really cool just to see everybody connect and get together and play some games. So
Yeah.
that's what we came here for.
Well, that's it.
What it's
The
about.
the community, the iiRcade community is very much that, and you built in obviously, the leaderboards and things like that. People were beating the high scores. I know everyone beat my high scores. It wasn't hard to do, but I know you guys have been really busy this week, having to clear everything out. Um, I guess I'm gonna ask you, really, Michael, on a personal level, like, how are you doing? How is John doing? How is the team doing? Obviously, it's a stupid question to ask, but
It's stressful. It's a little different, right? Imagine losing your job, but then I have to talk about it at the same time. It's a little different, right? So it's definitely a new experience for me. I got to say, one, just the company dying in general, but two, having to actually come face to face with everybody and talk about it, right? Which is not a fun thing for me to do, especially because I know you guys see my face all the time on shows and things, but I'm really not. I get nervous and then I talk a lot. And that's the only reason that I talk so fast on the show. So as a producer, it's my job to communicate with people, and that's easy in a business sense for me. But when you put me in front of a camera, I don't know why I get tongue tied, but I just can't do it anymore. Anyway, but yeah, it's been good. Jungs, it's almost not cathartic. It's what's the word I'm looking for too? It's almost it's stressful right now, but it's kind of a relief a little bit too at the same time for me. It's just been so high stress for 3 years now. So it's kind of nice to kind of wind back, take a look at what we've done, and kind of reevaluate everything right now too, which is kind of a fun situation too. At the same time, it's the silver lining and everything too, and that's the good with the bad, right? So, and I think Zhang is very happy. He's been very stressed for over a year now, insane. So I'm glad that he's kind of taking a little bit of time off after this and for his health, actually seeing his family who he's been away from in Korea for so long now too. Cause he loves his kids, he loves his wife and stuff too. He talks about them all the time, and he didn't get to see him for months on end here. So he's going to take a little bit of the summer, I think, to do that too, which is nice. So, but yeah, it's not a fun time, but it's okay. Well, life goes on. That's how it goes. Right. So,
and looking at, I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead.
I was going to say, thanks to Michael, I can hear faster than I've ever been able to before.
Yeah, I talk like one of those people who does the auctions, the farm auctions.
The FedEx guy. You got to do like the FedEx guy. Well, I will say that earlier today, people have not seen it. iiRcade had a live stream today, and the community was very supportive. That's something I always worry about too when something like this happens. But the community was very, very supportive of you guys. They spoke very highly of you and Zhang, and how well that you guys interacted with the community. How did that make you, feel knowing that the community was still so behind you guys?
It feels good. I mean, we see the bad stuff too, along with the good, right? So it's always fun to see that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's been really good. The community has been fantastic overall. And for me at least too, because a lot of my job is going to the trade shows. So I get to actually interact with you guys all the time, which is really cool. Or people like you at least, right? So Chris have probably seen more than anybody else now. But but yeah, so it's been fun for me, like going to the expos and stuff too, and seeing just actual people playing the machines and stuff too. And for us, it's really surreal when you get those kind of moments, because it's like, this is actually something that we made, right? We created this from scratch. There was nothing. We brought this into existence, right? So for us, it's something really cool. You know, it's just a circuit board, it's just a PCB inside and stuff too. But with those electrical signals flowing through it, we get to play all these cool games, get to connect people online, get the leaderboards going and stuff too. And it's just really cool when you see it all come together as a product and stuff too. And just seeing people play these games, even though we're not even the ones who make these games, right? We license them too. So it's really cool. Well, sometimes at least. Sometimes we make them. But beyond that, it's just really cool to see that stuff and get to experience that with the community too. Because for us, you'll see us on shows and stuff. We've been in the past too, that we literally just will jump on and play games with people too, if we can, if we have the time, right? So again, founded by gamers for gamers is what we are, kind of. But yeah, so licensing works out a little bit differently with the games you want sometimes, but it is what it is. So
Now, Renzo and Chris, I know you guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys kind of got involved with all this kind of with iiRcade, right? You kind of grew into that, and you kind of made your own game at this point. You want to talk a little bit about, how you kind of met Michael or Zhang and how this thing kind of started?
I can talk about how I first even found out about iiRcade. I was looking for just arcade cabinets, and then I found iiRcade, and then I found their dev page, and I was like, oh, I do dev stuff. Let me look into this. So I sent them an email, and I sent them the real early prototype of, I think it was called Sofa King Metal back then.
Yep.
Or maybe not even that. I don't know, but it was just a guy and enemies and one level, and it was terrible. But they played it and they sent me the demo. I was like, oh man, these guys are really receptive. So I'm going to work with them if they want to. And they were, working with us pretty well. And then from there, I posted some stuff on the community page, and it kind of blew up with, Chris jumped on there. He was like, oh, hey, maybe we can work together. Long story short, Chris, take it from here. I'm not a talker. I'm the Garth in this situation, by the way. He's the Wayne.
Party on. So,
Yeah,
it's been a 3-year trip here for us. Whenever the Kickstarter, first took off, and they had a contest to do a promo video, and that's when we did those old westerns, those silly movies, and then we're like, well, and then John was like, he's like, well, let's do another one. I'm like, all right, well, can we come to headquarters and film there? He's like, sure. So, these guys were busy beyond belief, and they took a full day that we hung out in the lair and filmed this movie, and it was so much fun. Of course, Michael was the bad guy, obviously, and so that's kind of where things started with us. And we've just gotten to know Michael and Jong and Doug and all the people there at iiRcade really well. I brought my family out there several times, and it's just awesome to see them interact, with each other, and especially there in the lair. So I would certainly call these guys, my friends, my buddies. Definitely want to, see them again continuously. But you'll be able to see them continuously in the game. So Heavy Metal Titans was already, started, like Renzo said. And then he brought me on board. I think Michael and John both suggested Billy Wrangle as one of the characters. Like, yeah, let's do it. And then just kind of went from there. And then, so this poor guy, though, like it takes him a long time to add a character and to do all the animations, like, I don't know, thousands probably. And I'd be like, hey, you think we could add John as a unlockable character? And he's like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, I think we could add Michael as an unlockable. All right, let's do it. Let's make him an android. So that's kind of where we're at. And those guys, again, they're so busy, and I would give them a call or a holler and say, hey, could you record these lines? So they have dialogue in the game and stuff, and just the nicest, coolest, most genuinely kind people that you can meet. And never,
except for me. Remember, I'm the
well, yeah,
guy.
you weren't included in there. No, I was talking about Michael and John. No, Glenn's right up there too on the list. Just really good people that care more about other people than themselves. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's how we roll here.
We got it. Steve's got to be the next unlockable character. Steve.
There we go.
Murphy. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. I'll start swearing in French or something and be a bad guy or whatever. Get people going, what the hell? She's swearing in French.
The mad Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I didn't know about the iiRcade Fallout, or not Fallout, but and I just learned about it a few minutes ago. I don't own one of these arcade machines, so I've got these things back there. So they're 100,000 pounds each. So this it sounded really cool though, because hearing Glenn talk about iiRcade it was better than the rest, so to speak. We tried to be at least.
Well,
no, but I'm just telling you this out of total honesty. He talked to me about it. He's like, this is way better quality. This is way better built, that sort of thing. And I just didn't have the money, but it was kind of cool to listen about it, and then how the community developed and how the software developed. Because you guys had leaderboards too, right?
Oh yeah, global leaderboard.
No, but that's what I mean. That was really cool and all that stuff. So it separated the men from the boys, so to speak, a little bit more, So
unfortunately, I had bigger plans for global leaderboards that won't see the light of day now, unfortunately. But
tell us what it was supposed to be.
I mean, I really wanted to especially seasonal leaderboards, because like sometimes the leaderboards get very stagnant, right? That's like the biggest complaint usually.
The same person at the top.
Somebody will be at the top for forever, and it'll be like nobody's going to dethrone this guy, right? But if you have seasonal leaderboards, right, like every 3 months or so, you do a winter, fall, summer, spring kind of thing.
Oh, that would have been
cool.
At
least it'll cycle through. It gives people more incentive to go back to those games too, right? It lets people revisit those games, right? So if you have a game like Space Invaders or like Dragon's Lair or like anything else, honestly, too, any kind of game with leaderboard, R-Type for me or Truxton's really my big leaderboard chasing board, honestly. Truxton and Congo Bongo are my two top leaderboards.
Congo Bongo of all games.
I love that game. It's so bad, but it's so good to me, and I love it so much.
There's a lot of games like that.
But yeah, things like that. We had we were kicking around the background stuff too that we've been kind of working on outside of things as well too. But those were things that I really wanted as main features that we never really got to, because we were sidetracked by a different, much larger software project that we sort of showed off today. But there was a lot more to it than what John showed off even too. But yeah, so unfortunately, that's how it goes. But yeah, I'm a big scoreboard chaser too. So it's my favorite part of the machine, honestly.
Competitive.
Yeah.
Real quick, Steven, there's a super chat. Can you read that? I'm not wearing.
Can I read that? Pouring one out for iiRcade beer mug. A sad day and a new beginning. Thanks, Michael, for your dedication, and Glenn always supporting the community. iiRcade for life. So
Absolutely.
there you go.
Thank you for the super
Absolutely.
So you've got a person, literally. He's probably one of your biggest fans.
He's on my payroll. I got to send him a couple bucks.
That's it.
Well, that was very well put. That's why I feel like this isn't an ending by any means. It's just a transition, because iiRcade is going to live on in so many ways. Like what Glenn's doing, certainly is a huge factor in how iiRcade is going to live on. And then all the relationships, like I said, all the people that we know now that we wouldn't have before.
Right.
It'd be interesting if the software that ran on there would be open source. And then you would just modify the crap out of it.
We can't do it, unfortunately. Like, one, we can't do the development time now. But beyond that, too, even if we could, it's our licensing doesn't let us do that the way that we license these games. So because we are licensed as a closed console, we can't open it up that way too. And we've put so much security in it at this point too.
Okay.
But I didn't want, and that's one of the things I did. I didn't want people to still lose what they had. I mean, obviously, people can take the machine and just gut it and do whatever they want to it. But that takes away from what the machine is. And, there was some definite love put into the hardware aspect and definite love put into the software aspect and a lot of work behind the scenes from a lot of people. So I didn't want that to be the legacy of the machine. So I want you to be able to have that, but it would get stagnant. If you can't put anything new on the machine, no matter how much you love these old games, like Heavy Metal Titans, no matter how much you love these games, you'll get bored still. So by doing what I'm going to do here, you will have the ability to let it grow, and not just with software, but actually with hardware as well. I mean, other things we'll be making, or other people making USB devices, as long as it be compatible with Linux or Android, it should continue to grow. And the iiRcade, that's one of the things that happens too. Sometimes, unfortunately, when something like this happens, that doesn't mean the platform dies. The platform may actually blossom even bigger than it was before. I saw that Bobby Vu was like all over this. He posted things. He's like, I'm doing this. We're going to get this. we're gonna totally trick this machine up. So
They're gonna hot rod this thing.
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
I mean, Bobby will literally put a hot rod in there too.
Well, I have, I think, I don't know how many we bought, but every time a new one came out, I was like, hey, wife. And she's like, yes, let's get it. So she's got one in her, she's a high school principal. She's got one in her office. And well, just
Nice.
another way that you probably wouldn't even know how iiRcade has affected people. She has one in her office. And a lot of times she gets some kiddos down there for behaviors. And they just can't, pull it together. They're upset. And then they say, whoa, what is that? And she's like, well, go check it out. And, they have a chance to kind of decompress playing games on the iiRcade, and then they can have a conversation. And it's just a small example of how, the iiRcade has affected people that most people wouldn't know, so.
I
Sounds
got
like
a
an
totally
awesome
useless
principle.
observation here.
Those are the best kind, Steven.
Doesn't this look like Mickey Mouse ears on everybody? These two speakers?
It kind of does, yeah. If you move up a little bit.
It's kind of weird because I was looking at Chris's monitor and it looks like Mickey Mouse ears. I'm like,
Very true.
wow.
I didn't-
Sorry, that's how my brain works.
Look, as someone who worked for Disney for 7 years, this is
Yeah.
way back now.
Michael,
Yeah.
I think a very genuine question just came through here.
Sure.
Basically, it says, any chance of there being any way to back up what's on the hardware? I guess people are all worried about, at some point, a hardware
yeah,
failure.
I posted this in the Facebook group earlier too. They just might not be in there too, but yeah, unfortunately there's not. The way the system is built, to the actual the keys and the oh my gosh, the decryption software and stuff that we use, that's all done through the server essentially, because we have to activate it with the account and the account's tied to it, right? So for a game to move into basically a different storage spot, one is one thing that we just don't have. We can't do it right now with development, but beyond that, that's not that bad to do, honestly. But getting it back on the machine after that later in time, if the server is gone, which it will be by then for sure, 100%, it can't connect to the account, so it can't actually open that key to unlock the game essentially too. So the game itself will basically null and void in the system at that point. So that's why we can't really do that. It's just not something that was ever baked in. It's not something we were prepared for, honestly, at this point in time. We're still a newer system to a newer company as well too. Even though it's been 3 years, we're still kind of a startup, right? So we're a very small team. So something like that is kind of a later down the line kind of thing. If you're comparing us to something like an Xbox or like a PlayStation stuff, sure, they have that kind of stuff. Yes, they're also multi-billion-dollar companies. We don't have that infrastructure to put in, right? We got to get to the meat of the system first, just having games download on their online play, leaderboards, make sure those systems run, making sure you can sign into your account, making sure if you do the parental lock stuff, that'll work. So that's more stuff that we got into, and then that's, already there. But something like backing up the system for cloud storage was, of course, something we were thinking about, but that's a little bit later on down the road. We just, it's not something we anticipated was shutting down.
Right. I mean, you guys even showed, like John showed today, you were working on I assume it was an Android phone app.
Yeah, that's an Android-based phone. Yeah. Because we are
So
an
you were
Android-based
doing
operating.
that, and I know you had other projects too. So you guys were looking.
Yeah.
It was an ecosystem. You guys had an ecosystem. You were looking to branch that out, and it was just unfortunate that just funding got pulled out. However that happened.
This has always been a community a community console, right? So we are an arcade consoles, we all call ourselves, right? So a console in general means to connect people basically for the most part, beyond just a closed system. So that was always a big goal for us too, was to have a lot more robust online features that we just hadn't gotten into the system quite yet, that we've been kind of working on a lot on the back end. Those friends list features, these leaderboard things that I was talking about, but beyond that, even to the online play getting beefed up even more too. Those were things that were very much in the forefront too, that just don't get to see the light of day, unfortunately. But yeah, the connected play and that connected community, especially, it's an arcade machine, right? So we call ourselves an arcade console, but still it's an arcade machine, right? So a big part of arcades is playing with other people in the arcade. So clearly that's a big aspect of it that we wanted to keep pursuing beyond what we already had in place too. So yeah, unfortunately it doesn't get to happen anymore, but yeah.
Real quick, Glenn Blazy asked this question. I've seen it a couple of times in here. People want to know if they're pre-ordering the GRS iiRcade control panel, are they charged now for the pre-order? And the answer is yes. We need to make sure we secure all the parts, the wood, get the team all ready to go. Now, I will say you are charged the pre-order, but you can cancel up in time of shipping. So if you change your mind, so listen, I changed my mind, you message our customer service and you will get your pre-order refunded. But we're basically taking these funds to guarantee that we can manufacture these for the people, and basically also fund the second part of the project, which is the GRS SBC for it. So you can now take that control panel and, like I said, switch between the stock machine and the ability to add more games using the GRS flight yoke, GRS flight stick. Got to be careful with the words I use here. I don't want to use those official trademark words anymore. The Akari Warriors joystick and paddles and other things. The light gun, the Sinden light guns, the GRS shotgun. Those things will all be designed to work with my SBC. And we have a lot of products that we were designing for iiRcade. You know, I did show in the video earlier, we had a steering wheel, a gear shifter, pedals, all that stuff was coming out. It just, obviously we didn't get to that point, but it doesn't mean we don't want to make them. And since they're going to be USB, we can sell them for other things as well. So the answer, my long Italian-German answer to your question is yes, you are charged for the pre-order. But if you change your mind, as long as you haven't shipped it yet, you can cancel and get your money back if that's what you so choose. Blah, blah.
Hey, Glenn, I missed that. Could you repeat that, please?
I can start right at the top. I can start right at the top. But, you know, and I want to say, first of all, again, really quick, and I don't mean to take over my own show, but I just want to say, since I made this announcement on the show today, my cell phone, my email, I am been blown up. I haven't gotten back to everyone. If I haven't responded yet, please don't take it personal. It's just blowing up. I can't get back to everyone. I'm just trying to get ready for this show. I was working today as well, but I'll try and get back to everyone that I can and answer everyone's question if I haven't done so already. The big thing for me, I know everyone on this panel is, we care about the people interested in our stuff. I know it's the same with Renzo and Chris. Steven, you know, he ran Xbox Addict and still runs the ColecoVision Addict. He always cared about the people on his things. And, you know, Michael and John care. It's just, I'm one guy. I have a team, but I'm the one who speaks English here. So it's barely. But I promise to get back to everyone with your questions. But I will say, if you know anything about my stuff, you know, we've always come out with our product. We usually come out with it on time, or sometimes even before. We always give you more bang for your buck. And, you know, if you just trust in me, I guarantee you guys will be happy with the item and what we're going to do in the future. And I'm going to shut up. Steven, ask a question, please. Say something.
I'm listening. You talked about your shotgun. I still think you should call it the GRS boomstick.
Agreed.
You're not the first person to say that, actually.
Agreed.
No, we've
100%.
been harping every week. Somebody in the chat had a great idea, and I am like, Glenn, call that damn shotgun the GRS boomstick. I don't think there's copyright. You don't need to involve lawyers. And I think people will just make the reference in their head. You just don't tell them you got it at Walmart or whatever, but that sort of thing, and you're good.
Real quick,
you know?
If anyone does do the pre-order and you get what he got here saying it's not working to your country, please send us an email. It's just something probably in the system. If you received an iiRcade and you're in a country that received an iiRcade, we will make sure you have an option to get the controller. I'm going to guarantee you that.
But I want to lighten the mood a little bit, because this is kind of like turning out to be a little bit of a funeral vibe of a show. And we talked to Chris and Renzo last time about, like, in the 80s. Like, Mike, I don't know what era you grew up in, because you look fairly young compared to the old farts there. But which generation, X or millennial?
I'm technically a millennial, I think, right? Yeah. So if you,
okay.
I'm born in 1990 on the dot. So I am usually the young one in the room. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you grew up with what kind of gaming consoles or arcade machines? What was that scene like? And I guess in the mid to late 90s, I guess.
Yeah. So mid to late 90s for sure too, because I was definitely known as a kid. I mean, I grew up with arcades just like you guys did too.
Well, that was dying at that point. Towards the end of the 90s, it was starting to go the way of the dodo bird, sadly. But
but I mean, they were still around and kicking. They were trying to keep their heyday going for a while too, even in the early 2000s, I think. But yeah, they were.
I think Capcom was holding on to the very end.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Those guys with their Street Fighter stuff. It was Street Fighter 10 or no, I don't know, but it was just this next Capcom machine coming out, and it was especially those golf games were coming out. What was it? The Golden Tee.
Golden Tees. Yeah.
Oh, those were hanging out into the 2000s and everything. So it was. They were just hanging on.
I mean,
what games did you play though on the arcade? What was the Mike's go-to game other than?
So my go-to has always been Time Crisis 2, because we had one at the bowling alley that I used to go to where I lived. So I used to play Time Crisis 2 all the time. But beyond that too, I was, your next generation stuff too, probably. So like more of oh my gosh, there's a big robot fighting game I used to play too, and I can't even think of it. But that was a 3D game too. Beyond that
Rock'em
too,
Sock'em Robots.
no Rock'em Sock'em Robots, unfortunately too. I played a lot of Tapper too, weirdly in the arcade too. I always was drawn to the Tapper machine too, and it was an actual Budweiser beer tapper machine too. It wasn't a root beer tapper. It was actually one of the Budweiser tap machines too, which was cool. So that was always fun too. I'm trying to think what else I used to play too. The Star Wars machine. I used to always play the Star Wars trilogy.
Was
machine.
that the one with the lightsaber Darth Vader one?
Yeah, the trilogy.
I think that's the one came up
trilogy.
because I know there was a pod racer that came out in the 90s also.
I had the pod racer one too, but I don't think I actually played the pod racer one until as an adult with Galloping Ghost here, honestly too. Like I know
it's an enormous machine with
it's massive.
With the actual, pod racer. Yeah, it's massive. So it's it's
Michael, if it's
interesting.
okay to ask, because it's coming up a lot in the chat, people wanted to know like how many units were sold. I'm not sure if that's something that you can or cannot say, but they've been asking.
I don't think I can officially say, but
more than 10?
A lot more than people think usually. Yeah, 10K. Yeah, more. But yeah, I can't. There's still things that we still are under NDA and licensing stuff for currently, at least, right? So I can't do all that stuff. But yeah, and I can't harm certain other entities and stuff, technically speaking. Anyway, yeah, somewhere in the ballpark of there too. We're above that, but yeah.
And I want to say also hello to Australia with people around the world joining the show today. So people down in Australia. So good day, mate, or good night. I'm not sure what time it is.
Boy,
morning. I don't know.
Yeah, it's morning. Yeah.
What do they call the barbecue? Like a Barbie?
The Barbie. Throw another shrimp
on the Barbie. The Barbie, yeah. I'm not used to hearing that, but hey, sure, whatever. But that's good though. I was just, trying to lighten the mood a little bit with the questions on the arcade. And what about home console? What was your
Nintendo? So I grew up with. So my big brother had the Genesis growing up, so I had to play the Genesis all the time. So like Streets of Rage 2, 100% was my jam. So I had the Genesis.
Great game.
My uncle right across the street had Nintendo. So like Nintendo's really my first like era of games, I would say too. Like
the original NES.
Yeah, original NES.
NES.
So, yeah, this version of Zelda and stuff and everything too. Yeah, the original NES. And my cousins had the Super Nintendo, I think, at one point. We never actually had one. But like, and then my grandma had an Atari. So like I had grown up with Atari, but like really my first system was like NES, I would say. NES and Genesis.
Now when you say Atari, which Atari are we talking about? The 2600, the 7800, 5200, XE, 400, 800?
He was just happy to play games, dude. Like
I was, yeah. Honestly, at that point in my time, yeah. I was like, let's go. Yeah.
When you're little, you don't care what the hell you're holding.
Yeah, and it was a wood grain, so I'm pretty sure it was 2600.
Oh, it had to be. Yeah, it was wood grain.
It had to be, right? Yeah. Okay.
That was in back then.
It was.
Everything had wood grain on it.
Kids, they stamped the diapers with wood grain. Everything was wood grain back then.
The side of a car, a big station wagon had wood grain on the side of it.
The vans of the station wagons, which is the wood on the side. Let's bring that back. You know what? We can do that better.
Why not?
I wonder how many people would get it. But anyways, who knows?
That would be the best marketing campaign, I feel like. No, I think that would sell. I don't know. You sell like an electric car with the wood grain instead. That's just, I think it would do. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I want one of those. What's that 3-wheel? The Aptera? Is it the Aptera? The 3-wheeled electric car they're coming out with?
I haven't heard of that.
That's why it's got solar panels on the top. It'll charge itself during the day. It looks like a gumdrop. I think it's called the Aptera. But
are they just trying to be like aerodynamic with it? Why does it look like a gumdrop?
It's 2 wheels in the front and one in the back, and it's like shaped like a gumdrop. And basically, it's got solar panels on the whole top, and it gets like 30 miles of charge just sitting in the sun. So like I only drive 30 miles a day, so I wouldn't have to ever plug it in. It would just drive and drive, and 0 to 60 time with the 3 motors is like 2.8 seconds, so it's quick.
Oh, sounds like that car Homer designed.
Yeah, the Homer. The Homer. Isn't Danny DeVito was his cousin or?
Yeah, that was the episode. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
Danny
right.
DeVito. You know what's really weird is this is completely not totally off topic, but wood grain paneling. You guys know how hard it is to find that stuff anywhere because I wanted to redo my arcade room with the old wood paneling. You can't find that stuff anymore. I guess there's got to be tons of it at the dump.
Thanks.
So I'm like, where do you guys get this stuff? And I was going to redecorate like that. We can't find it anywhere. Not even Home Depot has that stuff.
No,
There's
it's-
a reason that you can't find it anywhere.
there is. There
Yeah,
is.
there's a reason. Yeah, because it goes up in flames real easy, apparently.
Michael, there was another question I saw in the chat. You know, I have the attract mode that shows the games that plays. Well, will that
Yes.
continue to function like the last one stored in the machine, or is that going to
It
stop?
will,
working?
because it's stored in the machine locally at that point. You've downloaded it to it. So, yeah, I've been getting people asking me for the fireplace one back. I don't think I'm going to change it back to that. Will I do like one last one? Maybe. I might have to like put a poll to the community to see what they want. So,
Ooh,
in
I
that
have an
case,
idea.
Let's hear it. Come on, Chris. It's an open forum, buddy.
Well, is it okay to kind of talk about what we kind of decided today?
You know what?
Yeah.
Let me shoot. First, like for people who don't know, I mean, I don't know if you don't, but if you don't, Renzo and Chris developed a game that was released yesterday called Heavy Metal Titans. And let's show everyone first what the game is. Let's put that up first. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom.
Woke up this morning, something just wasn't right. You know that feeling you get in your gut? Makes you wonder if you're gonna see tomorrow? Yeah, they're coming for us. That ain't nothing new. What are we gonna do about it? We're about to light up those critters.
Take this, man. You're gonna need it.
Bring in the boom boom!
The Slayer's always ready.
That Phoenix is literally on fire! The Slayer's in trouble! Fight on, Princess! Yeehaw! Where's Shotgun Sean when you need him?
When I graduate kindergarten, I'ma quit eating my boogers. Here, my uncle says Magic Juicy gives you an extra special attack. Magic Juicy makes me fart like my nana.
The vampire's about to get dusted! Come on, Colin! War Horse! Welcome to the slaughter!
Rain down fire!
Grenades go kaboom! Heavy Metal Titans!
Yep, it's gonna be a good day.
Oh, by the way, you're about to die. Burn him down, Smokey. I really like that last character the most. I think he's handsome.
It's scary.
So, Chris,
Oh.
please continue.
Yeah, so it's bittersweet, and there have been some questions today about in the last the week or so if Heavy Metal Titans is going to drop on iiRcade, and we've been working to polish it up and adding tons of iiRcade Easter eggs, because again, this is where it started with the iiRcade. The iiRcade community. Michael's been super awesome, just giving us really, really good suggestions on how to improve the game. We appreciate that.
We got most of them.
Yeah, that's right. And so again, the question was today, is it going to happen? So Renzo just busted his tail today, and he was talking to Michael to see if he could get it finished up and still release it. And Michael said, "Yep, let's do that." And so we decided we're gonna not just release it, but we're gonna give it free. It's gonna be free to the iiRcade community to download. And just as a thank you to Jong and Michael, and also to all the community members, it's been an awesome ride. Again, it still continues, but we wanted to do that, and that was Renzo's idea today when we were talking about it. He came up with that idea to.
Yeah, I was supposed to consult you guys first. My bad.
Yeah, I was like, you want to do free? I was like, you just released it. Are you sure? Okay.
That,
We all
I mean, that
we
is
just
such a
felt like it was the
huge,
right thing to
huge
do,
gesture, man.
on a day like this. we wanted to, offer what we could for John, Michael, and his team, and then all the iiRcade, community. So
Yeah.
that'll be up and going at some point.
So
We
you guys
appreciate
going to be
it.
officially the last game on the
That's
platform?
the thing. Yeah, it'll be a bittersweet one for the
Actually,
last
that's
one too. But it's it's kind of nice.
Kind of poetic.
I didn't know if there was other games coming down the pipeline, but if that's the last game, I don't know. I think it's an honor,
It's an
feather
honor,
in the
for sure.
cap, so to speak.
Not
you
only
know?
that, it's.
I'm honored.
I didn't even think
It's a good
about
one to
that
go
as
out
being
with,
the
I'm
last
glad.
game, but literally they just released the game on Steam. They've been working on this for 2.5 years. I mean, programming is not easy. A lot of bug fixes, game dynamics has to go in. Working with me was probably the biggest pain in the ass you had out of the whole thing. And that's a huge thing to take 2 years, half years of commitment and say, you know what, community, I believe in these guys so much. I feel for the community, and these guys are just releasing the game for iiRcade owners. I think that's a huge thing. And I can't thank you enough because I know the community is just going to be static over it. And I'm blown away by that kind of gracious gift you guys just did. Really.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate it, and yeah, we just wanted to do what we could, and so hopefully everybody enjoys it. Michael and Jong are the unlockable characters on there, so you have to put some work in. You have to find all the hostages and all the. I don't want to give it away, but one of the Easter eggs in there is hidden on every level, and to unlock those guys, and it was a lot of fun. So
There's definitely no cheat codes to unlock them immediately either.
no, there's not.
Well, I got an idea for you guys. Why don't we tell the community if they want to support you because you're giving it away on iiRcade, is go buy it on Steam.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a great idea too.
Go buy it on Steam. These guys will, reap some benefits of their hard work and
Right,
stuff
it's
like that.
It's
So,
$14.99. I mean, it's $14.99. I think it's extremely reasonable. And Steven, that's a great idea. So, you can still download the game in the iiRcade, but if you want to support them, which I think is a great idea to do, is just
exactly.
purchase on Steam. That's a great idea.
There's
And
100
you can-
people in
you
our
don't even have to
chat
wait.
right now.
You can do it right now.
Go do it.
Yep, you can do it right now. Yep.
We would appreciate that. I appreciate the suggestion there. Yeah, that would mean a
Yeah,
lot.
I think
to
in
us.
the end, they can't support it because you guys aren't allowed to sell the games anymore on the store. So go support them on Steam. They'll still put money in their pocket for their hard work. I mean, that's the way I think it should roll.
Absolutely.
That was a
Thank
great
you.
idea. See, that's why we keep Steven around. Once in a while, he's got these
I'm
damn
full of good ideas, not just full of crap.
He is. He is. And it was Alfred Berger had asked that was I an unlockable character? No, I'm not. I'm basically Bowser. I am basically Negan. I am basically Satan incarnate.
In cartoon form.
Yes.
He's the general Glenn Plenamento. He's the leader of the invading alien army, and he bounces us around through time, and he's got a lot of good dialogue in there too. It's pretty funny. So yeah, check out Glenn. He's the bad guy. He's the
I have a lot of
villain.
very good poopy dialogue. The poopiest dialogue ever.
So what's the rating on the game? Rated G for Glenn?
Yeah.
No, it's the other end of the spectrum. What is it? M?
No. It's just it's E. I mean, it's for everybody. It's there's
Parental
nothing-
guidance, maybe.
yeah,
I don't know.
there's nothing harmful in there.
It's appropriate for all ages, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a super chat by somebody special there.
Oh yeah.
I just saw this. It's very kind. It's probably coming out of my own bank account. But thank you, Cole. I'm paying myself. But all joking aside, my son, I'm extremely proud of him. He's just graduating high school. Actually, this Friday is his graduation from high school. But he's also completed his first year of college, and he made the dean's list. So
That's amazing.
All right.
Awesome.
I'm not sure what DNA he got from me, but he's smart.
Ain't that one?
Yeah, he's smart. So I want to appreciate Cole for actually watching my show and the $20 super chat, which is just coming out of my own bank account and going back to myself. So he is smart, isn't he? He's smart.
Not just that, he's got nothing to do. You told him to not use the internet for an hour, so he's giving you $20.
Actually, what I did, and that's why if you notice, we've had no lag, we've had no drops. So my son,
Kept the kids off the line.
Yep. Got it like Optimum. That's our cable out here, and I'm paying for 400 by 50. I don't get anything close to that. Every time I test it, I'm at like 3.
Oh yeah.
I'm making sure no one picks up the phone here, so we should be good.
But
The
Cole,
phone,
thank
that's
you
still
for
a
the
thing?
super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I got Mary Sherlock Parker. She knows, Coke is how you get to me. He could have just brought me a Coke, and I would have been happy as a clam. So, Mary, thank you very much for posting from Florida, far, far away.
I'm going to bring you a case of Canadian sugarcane Coca-Cola when I go see you.
Does
You know,
it actually taste that much different? I
I-
get this
Oh, yeah,
claim
it
all the
does.
time from the
Oh, yeah.
It
Canadians.
does. It
I
does.
didn't really
Yeah?
notice the
Okay.
difference. I didn't notice the difference.
One's corn syrup, which is the garbage you guys have.
Sure.
And then basically corn syrup is over there, and then sugar cane is up here in Canada. There's
But
a taste difference.
Don't they do the sugarcane ones here though too? Like you can buy them, they're just like they're labeled
No,
differently.
you have to go to Mexico and you have to import it
that-
from Mexico.
Ew, I got to cross the border to get my Coke.
Yeah.
that makes sense in more way than one. But it's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Coca-Cola the beverage, everyone.
Yes.
So officially, Mike is
Okay,
crossing the border to get his Coke.
That's
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You
I'll tell that
can
to the guys at the right there at the when I have to cross the border.
you can
the
go
guards.
to a lot of the supermarkets, but you go to the international aisle, and you will find the Coke. Like I say, they have raspberry and peach flavored Coke is excellent with the sugar,
Sugar
real
cane.
sugar in there, sugar cane.
Okay.
We got
Yeah.
a super chat also from Goofy Foot, and love Goofy Foot. He's in here all the time. Okay, Glenn and Michael, how do we hook up the Steam Deck to the iiRcade? Well, you never know. Once I do little bells and whistles, there might be other things you can
Is
do
there
there.
HDMI in on the back of the thing or
There's out, there's not in though.
Right,
Okay.
not yet. Maybe
not yet?
Sure.
Somebody will
Maybe.
hack it.
As John would say, anything's possible. And you know what? It was another special day because out of all these years of me sending him $5 every
you.
time out my mouth, he said game on and he owed me $5. So it was kind of nice to get that right at the end, He almost made it.
If
Call
he's
it
watching
even.
right now, if he's watching, he owes you $5. You better super chat that $5. I'm telling you.
What else we got in the chat? There's a few people talking about the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I'm looking
You guys
for
gonna bring it? Maybe make it on the Asus. What's that? Asus console handheld that they
Mikey,
put out.
well,
and
Mikey
everybody's talking
D.
about?
Mikey D just bought Heavy Metal Titans on Steam. So Mikey D, thank you for
All right.
supporting Renzo.
There
and
you
Chris.
go.
That was awesome of you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate it.
Like
Oh.
everybody else, go do that. Go,
Oh,
go,
yeah.
go, go.
Man, I'm not used to these super chats. I'm not used to getting money. Kong to Russ, how does the GRS connect to the Gen 1 arcade? It's going to connect basically to both. It's going to be a single deck that'll connect to the Generation 1 or the gold cabinet, giving the same functionality to both. That's it. The pre-order right now is for the control panel I've been talking about for the past 10 months. You get the 2 joysticks, which are removable. You get the gate switches on both. You get the trackball that now lights up. You get the volcano buttons. You get the 2 spinners. You get all the buttons. You get USB ports on the front as well. People asking about if that's there. There are 2 USB panels on the front. But when we add the GRS SBC pod, that will bring the additional features that will enhance it a lot further. Kongs, thank you for the super chat.
We got 2 more super
By the way, I
chats
saw
there.
you on Michael B, the Game GD stream today, so I know that was a question you guys had. And we have Kongs or Russ as well.
Oh, Pliskin's asking too if it's just for the gold. No, it's
No.
Pliskin. It's for both the gold and the standard editions for both.
Correct.
Any iiRcade that's in existence. Yep.
My buddy 90K Fox, again, you don't have to give me a super chat, buddy, but I appreciate it. I know I was late to the party, but I'm still digging my arcade gold cab. I raise my glass to the great people that brought us something different and most importantly, fun. Fox,
Well, cheers.
really appreciate
Cheers,
it,
Rob.
buddy.
You got your bourbon.
Really appreciate that. And if you missed it, you will be able to download Heavy Metal Titans free, thanks to Chris and Renzo.
Yeah, but go buy it on
basically,
Steam.
Pick it up right now on Steam. You don't even have to wait.
Right.
Play right now.
We
see
got a
what
reason
After
to
this,
Redux?
Michael, by the way, I'm going to send you that. I just got to go through the game, make sure it's all straight.
And
Yeah,
that's
so-
the
yeah,
thing
so what-
too. But just be very clear. It wasn't really ready to release the arcade. But of course, what happened? Renzo was like going gangbusters right now, just making sure it's bug free and running properly. So he's working on it right now. He's on my show working.
Oh, I actually took a moment.
It's not going through my
Good one.
standard QA process. And like since I come from QA, I'm like very particular all the time too. So in this case, it's just not. We're gonna put it on there too. If it's going on for free anyway too, it's how it goes. But it should be bug free and playable too. We have made it through the game currently on the version that we have. It's just this is an updated version. So Renzo's being awesome and checking through it right now. So
And Michael, you got a super chat here from Zero Redux, a $5 super chat. Again, guys, we really appreciate it. It's not necessary.
Chris,
Wishing
super
you
chats.
much success in your next gig, Michael. Always professional and positive despite the bad news behind the scenes. All the best, bro.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
He's not going to drown his tears into some alcohol there later.
Oh,
None
but
of
there's
that.
nothing wrong with
None
that.
of that.
If you want
None
to
of
have a
that.
little, it's okay. It's all right.
A little's okay. Not just drown. You know.
The home arcade community loves to live on social media and YouTube especially, and people think that like we do monitor a lot of things, right? But like I can't catch everything and stuff too, and people have all this drama going on too and stuff. And when I like show up on things, I'm just like, guys, like I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know what you guys did together, or like what you guys are bickering about. I'm like, I've just been working on this game over here, working on the software over here. Like I don't know what's happening. So,
That's my life. That's my life.
yeah.
Like, wait, what happened?
We got another super chat
We did.
from Samuel Lopez.
I'm looking for it. Oh, you want to read it? Boom, go.
I bought my iiRcade some time ago from Puerto Rico, and they honored the free shipping back then.
Cool.
Thanks, Michael and John. Best wishes.
Awesome, glad to hear.
You know, I got to
So-
tell you, I bought a extra riser because again, the quality of the woodworking and everything on these machines were top notch. So I actually bought an extra riser and I actually put another machine I had sitting on top of it. The quality of the machine is really, really good. That's what the biggest shame of this all is. I mean, it happens a lot of times in the gaming industry. People come out maybe the best hardware and the best product and the best manufacturing, the best all this stuff. Sometimes it just doesn't make it, and it's a sad truth.
Yeah.
And that was my big thing here. Is like I don't want this machine to go away. I want the community. I want it to build up. We have a lot of people already in the background coming up with ideas for my SBC and what they're going to do and other parts. So the arcade is going to continue, and the community is going to continue as long as people want it to go. I got it.
Another
Steven.
super chat.
Here we go. You read it, buddy.
All right. Can you tell the audience when the GRS single board computer might drop? How easy will it be to add the control panel later? And how the control panel connects to the Gen 1 cabinet?
Super easy.
That was a $10 super chat. That's $20 worth of information.
Glenn.
So I can't give you all the
Beasley.
tidbits. I'll give you as much as I can in the $10. No, I'm just kidding. So the SBC will drop as soon as it's ready. To be quite honest, the addition of that was not only last minute, but kind of last minute. I mean, it was something idea I always had in the back of my head, but I wasn't going to do it. The same reason, like I know Mystery Encoder and that team didn't want to try and hack the machine out of respect for the machine that's here. So I'm probably going to say, honestly, either the very late third quarter, early fourth quarter before that's really kit's going to be available for it. But that'll give you guys plenty of time to play your current library and try it with the gate switches, playing games you haven't played before with a 4-way gate switcher. But it'll be worth the wait. I'm telling you right now, we're going to be offering you better than Raspberry Pi 4 performance, under $50 with all the tech you need to switch it electronically between their machine and ours. We're going to make sure it's done the right way. As far as how it connects, it's still going to be a little bit of work on your legacy unit because that legacy unit is going to be in the warranty sealed area, which it's not going to be a big problem much anymore, I don't think. I don't know about the warranty. But you will have to open up the bottom. We'll have instructions and videos on how to do all this stuff. It's not going to be hard. It'll definitely be easier than just taking your home machine apart from scratch and trying to mod it from scratch. It's going to be an A, B, C, click, 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 connect, and go from there. I hope that answered.
I imagine it's got to be turnkey. I mean,
Pretty much.
asking people to solder and all that
Well,
stuff, forget it.
I think a lot of people bought the iiRcade. Well, people didn't want to worry about
That was
hassling.
that was our
doing
main
those
selling
things,
point. Yeah,
right?
we're a console. We take care of everything for you, so you don't have to do anything
Correct.
crazy or side load
Correct.
stuff. Yeah.
And I think every piece of hardware I've sold to date has been either instantly plug and play or very easy to add. Unless you're a Stephen Haywood, I don't know what the hell he did to his Tron, his stick got all messed up. Well, it's the arcade one-up Tron, and his stick broke.
Okay.
And when he took the stick out, the stick actually came out of my proprietary connector that they borrowed.
Okay.
And actually got dislodged in there,
I
and
see.
then mine wouldn't fit. He couldn't figure out why. It was because it was all crammed in there. So it was like, I don't know, I just pulled it out. And then I was on the phone for like an hour and a half, but we got it fixed. But normally it would have been very easy to do. The chat's getting out of control. I'm falling behind here, guys. And I apologize for that. I apologize. There's so much going on here. Renzo working on the game. We have Chris here, basically giving
Hanging out.
Heavy Metal Titans away to the community for free. And I do want to say Steven had a great idea. Do support these
Go
guys.
buy the Steam game.
They were a small indie developer. It's the first game out of the gate. Just go over to Steam, purchase it there, and you'll definitely still get it on the arcade as well. So you'll have a copy here, a copy there.
If you have a Steam Deck, you get to bring it with you and everything.
No, I didn't even ask. I didn't even ask you guys. So are all the same characters on the iiRcade version, on the Steam version? Are they the same characters in both?
Yep, same ones.
Yeah, same characters.
You get to be killing Glenn over there too.
Going after Glenn.
Good luck.
Glenn's dragon. Yeah, there's what do we start off with? There's 7 playable characters, and then you work to unlock Michael and Jong.
Yeah, just kept going.
Biggy's asking.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Biggy's asking when it's going to be available on the on iiRcade store.
He's
the
working
answer,
on it now.
Biggy, is when it's ready. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to add
within the next
couple days.
I'm gonna send it tonight. So
I want to add one more thing here. Technically, Heavy Metal Titans, this game that's released, is episode 1. Technically, they have more things down the pike. You need to support these guys. They got to feed their families too. So even though they are releasing it for free, I bought it on Steam. It's $14. It's not a lot of money. If you can, just shoot them the money, because if you want to see episode 2, episode 3, episode 96, whatever, these guys put a lot of time and effort into it. Just try if you can. I mean, I'm not going to be a beggar. I am a beggar. I'm a YouTuber. That's what we do. But they did put a lot of work into this, and it's a fun game.
You guys got to help fund the next game, basically.
Yeah, basically, yes.
That's how it works.
So basically, they make the first one, make a bit of money, go to the next one because they have enough to feed their kids, and then the third one, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So you got to keep the train moving,
right?
So to
I
speak.
assume, like all the kids, they're gonna make sure all of them are fed, not just a favorite kid. It's kind of how it works.
Most of them.
Yeah, and I got a lot of kids.
Now, another question I've seen a lot is my control deck is the black top, like you see right here. Well, not here because there's artwork on it. Mine is just a flat black top. So people ask, well, how are we going to get artwork for it? I know that Arcade Graphics and Joe Sabo will do it tomorrow or Sunday on Father's Day. We will release the overlay, if you will, that people need the artwork to know where all the holes are going to be, so they can do the artwork the proper way. So we'll have that. I'll put it on my Facebook group and usually on Glenn's Retro Show Game Gurus, and I'll put on the Arcadians, website, iiRcade's websites as well. So you can just download that. The stencil, that's what we're looking for. It'll be the stencil, so you can do your artwork around it. Make a nice Heavy Metal Titans topper right on top of your machine there.
That'd be sweet.
Do we have the Super Game Room dudes after this? I forget what.
Yes, Super Game Room dudes will be starting in a couple of minutes. So let's go around here and do the final thing here. First of all, I want to personally thank everyone in the chat once again. You guys are great. All the super chats, they're really nice. But we try and get to everyone. It's just been a busy day. Steve and I are not used to these 100+ chat groups.
Oh yeah.
We're
old. It goes quick.
So let's go around here. Chris, anything you want to say, please? This is your moment to shine, buddy.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say once again, thank you for having us on the show, and thanks to Michael and Jong and Doug and Deus and all that team for everything they did these past few years. Again, iiRcade will live on in the relationships that we've developed and the friends we've made. Plan on seeing y'all, at least occasionally. We don't want to be strangers because again, I consider these guys honestly family, and I can say from actual experience, not assumptions, not from what I've seen on the screen, but from actually knowing these guys. That they're genuinely the kindest people that you could ever meet, and we'll do anything for anybody that needs their help. So thank you again for this awesome experience that will continue on. Thanks again for having us on the show.
Well said.
Yeah.
Honor is ours. Renzo, I know you're busy coding and fixing code, but
yeah, I am just honored to have had the opportunity to work with you guys, and iiRcade, being in the community is just so awesome. Michael and Jong are freaking awesome. It's changed my life, impacted me, and so many other people. So I'm not a great guy with words, as you know, but love you guys. So I hope to see you again soon. Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, Chris and Renzo, it's an honor to have you guys on again. And I do hope that you get great success on Steam. And I know it's only been like 24 hours, but man, giving it away to the community, phenomenal. But please, people, please do support.
Honestly,
your
it's the
Steam.
least we can do. Least we can do.
That's awesome.
I
Mike,
feel like I wish I could give more.
I mean, I didn't ask for it to be free even too. I was like, are you sure? So yeah, so everybody who is especially looking to download on iiRcade too, do pick up a copy on Steam as well too. Just support these guys; they're amazing. Again, yeah, like Chris said too, we're all friends here, 100%. So yeah, it's fun. I don't know what else to say. I've said a lot today. I'm like out of words today too. At the same time, like it's a bad day. It's a good day. It's we're looking to the future. I'm still on a blue sky phase, a little bit too outside of things too. As bad as things are right now, it's fine. I'll land on my feet again too. We'll figure things out too. But
We'll
thanks
see you
again to
guys
the community
again.
for being the community. Honestly, for these past 3 years with us, especially, it's been a wild ride. As I've said earlier today too, it has truly been a wild ride with all of you too. But it's been fun. It's been good. It's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, everything, so everything in between. So yeah, I'm glad. And hopefully I'll see you all in the future as well too on other shows, or probably at expos and stuff too. I'll probably be around. You'll see me at those two, maybe in Cleveland. We'll see, because I probably got to make it out to finally meet Glenn in person for the first time ever, weirdly enough. So yeah.
I've never met him either, so.
It's what?
I'm not real. I'm a bot. I'm an AI bot this entire time.
Yeah, he's got surgery in different parts of his body.
Yeah,
and
kidney stones from all this. Mountain Dew. This stuff's not good either.
So happy Father's Day weekend to all the fathers out there,
Yeah.
and we'll take us out, I guess, Glenn.
Yeah, well, I just want to end by saying, it was an honor. It's been a wild ride as well. I will say I've had a lot of fun games on the iiRcade that you potentially could play them. I guess some of them somewhere else. For some reason, on the arcade cabinet, you just hit a button, you go in, and you play the game. That's what was really good about the iiRcade. That you just picked it, launched it, played it. Great speakers, and good controllers. So a lot of fun. Wizard of Walls. I keep going back to Wizard of Walls. I keep forgetting the name of it though. The one that's like Robotron 2084. Thank you. Play that. Yeah. And now it's going to be Heavy Metal Titans, but then I can't beat myself, so that's kind of weird how that's going to work.
You go to jail for that.
I think so. But it was a bittersweet day, but I will say that the community out there was so positive and thankful to you guys that it actually turned a day that is still a bad day, but you had a lot of support, and that's something you really don't see, honestly, a lot in the community. Honestly, you just see the other side of the community. So I want to personally thank everyone out there who joined the chat today, the stream today, at 12 o'clock as well as this one, for everyone being positive and looking forward. And I'm going to be honest, my phone has still been blown up. People saying I pre-ordered. So I think that we're going to be well on our way to keeping the iiRcade going, not just for now, but for many years down the road. We'll see Heavy Metal Titans Part 10.
I think there's
somehow
a young person that's in the chat there, Glenn.
There we go.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. He still owes you the $5. Really?
John.
He did make it. So John, just so you know, everyone out there sends your best wishes out to you. And it was a great ride. It was like, you know what it's like? It's like watching the very first Iron Man movie right up to Infinity War. It was a beginning. We made it to the end. Everyone is we're saddened to see Iron Man, Tony Stark, aka iiRcade, going to the sunset. But like Marvel, they'll bring it back 5 ways. That's what I'm going to try and do here. I'm going to keep it going. But that's it. Listen, Super Gamer Dudes is kicking on right now. I really want to thank Renzo, Chris, and Michael for joining today. It's always, Steven, always a pleasure here.
Yep.
And before I say my last words, I just want to say once again, it is Father's Day on Sunday. So make sure you call your family and friends. Remember, this is fun stuff, but people, your father, your family, your friends, those are the things that matter the absolute most. Make sure you give them a call and just let them know that you love them and you miss them. And that's it. I want to thank you all for joining today, and let's all say it together. Game on.
On.
Peace out, everyone.
Good night.
Game on. Sit, Blue Blue, sit.